I'm Michael Victor Ruggiero, landscape architect and arborist. This video is part of a series that focuses on plants that are resistant to deer prowls. The focus is on low shrubs, perennials, and annuals. And while most of the images shown are from coastal communities, the plants will also grow inland throughout the New York metro area and along the eastern seaboard. Most of the footage will be from coastal and beach communities. These communities mostly have sand-based soils. And for most plants, if they can take sand-based soils, they can also thrive in richer alluvial soils found in inland areas. So the information in the videos will be relevant for the entire metropolitan region as well as all states along the northeast seaboard.
Common annuals like geraniums, impatiens, and coleus are valued all summer for their splashy color and easy growth and massing. Sadly, deer never, ever leave them alone, leaving us with a handful of annuals that are resistant. These few encouraging annuals are reviewed first. Lantana is a vigorous spreader valuable for sunny containers. The yellow and white are common, but there are also pinks and reds and variegated selections. Summer Snapdragon is a newer offering for beds and containers. In blue, pink, or white, it looks fabulous in window boxes like this one. Dusty Miller has a yellow flower, but is grown mostly for its silver foliage, which is strongly aromatic. Relatives include native herbs and the common perennial wormwood, shown later. In many places, spider flower shows resistant, as do marigolds, also strongly aromatic. Notice them here with the common spike dracaena, whose spiky foliage combines in the next shot with the white lantana and Japanese bloodgrass. Mentioning of dracaena plants introduces three significant practices concerning annual plantings. 1. Tropical foliage plants are often planted outdoors as summer annuals. And 2. Tropicals in containers outdoors at house entries and in containers outside gates. Identifying resistant tropical plants is beyond the scope of this series, but to arouse your curiosity further, the following are reliable plants for dressing up entries. Asparagus fern is common, robust, and available in some really exotic forms, like this Springer selection. True ferns are also quite effective. More about them in the ferns episode. An important note is that asparagus ferns contain toxins. This cool-looking horsetail is also toxic to browsing animals. More on its prehistoric ancestors in the grasses episode. Poisonous perennials start our review of resistant perennials. Widely known as poisonous and therefore deer-proof are daffodils. Plant them anywhere soils deep enough, and most will flourish for years. Daffodils are the only spring bloomer in this episode, included because of their universal use and beauty in early spring. Back to summer. Foxgloves can be deadly too and as deer-proof. They are actually biennials, flowering in their second year. Their seeds sow readily to make great drifts of them from year to year. Plant starter plants at least 2 years in a row. Angel's trumpet is toxically hallucinogenic. Flowers are large, showy, and quite fragrant. It is actually a woody shrub, tenderly hardy in zone 7. The trumpet's very close relative is this annual moonflower or jimsonweed. Selections of them are seductively effective in gardens, but read up on their dangers, please, and select non-weedy cultivars. Now to aromatic perennials, which deer leave alone because of their strong oils. First is the vigorous but easily tamed Russian sage, with its abundant, upright, blue-purple blooms. Another reliable grower is the spreading catnip. It grows just about anywhere there is some sun. Next is the popular lavender, semi-hardy in Zone 6, Its relative is rosemary, as well as other culinary herbs. The foliage plants wormwood and silvermound take on a number of different habits. They have a tendency to get leggy but take shearing. Their relative is the annual dusty miller shown earlier. Amongst aromatic plants are ornamental sages. There are a lot of them, mostly perennials. Many claim deer resistance to all of them, while others do not. The deep blue flowers put on a spectacular display when deer do leave them alone. Here it is in Hudson River Park with other plants in this series. Anna's hyssop is a chameleon in both leaf and flower. Whether the flower is blue, pink, or red, or whether the plant has a fine textured foliage, hummingbirds love it, but deer thankfully don't. I can't wait to see more of them planted. On to some other common perennials that display resistance. Tick seed has yellow flowers with reliably long display. There are a number of Coreopsis cultivars. The white yarrow is a native to barrier islands, and its relatives host a myriad of sizes, textures, and flower colors. Certainly more experimentation is merited, especially in sandy coastal soils. Sturdy selections include moonshine and terracotta. Lamb's ear is a vigorous, silvery, fuzzy leaf ground cover often used. Here it is with the summer snapdragon annual showed earlier, a red barberry, and the evergreen Andromeda. Another with fuzzy leaves is the quirky native mullein. It's often mistaken for foxglove until its flowers appear and you realize it stands alone, which it practically always does in random places. Once you see mullein in flower, it's a hard one to forget. Another not for the faint of heart is globe thistle. Laden with them, it also puts forth a mass of steel blue flowers excellent for cutting. Not appropriate near walkways, obviously. More on the prickly side is the prickly pear, a tough as nails plant shown here with blue oats grass. In the next image, notice its establishment in pure sand, a stretch which was pounded by Hurricane Sandy. One more benign, but still tough is Adam's needle, which puts on a grand white summer flower. Behind it is a yellow flag iris, especially good for wet areas. My take on iris resistance is that while their foliage may be resistant, the flower buds are ripe for the taking by deer. Remember that. The strong reds of Montbretia in the iris family I have more faith in. However, its foliage often seems to fall over, like a gladiolus. A final perennial of note is red-hot poker, which I think deer leave alone because they perceive it as just another grass. Full sun only, but a fun one to try. Finally, our common perennials many claim are resistant, but I am not able to confirm. On this list are purple coneflower and black-eyed Susan. My experience is that these meadow flowers do not form well in really sandy soils and disappear after a year or two. I found the same of salvias. I am interested in viewer experience on both of these issues. Are coneflowers, black-eyed Susans, and salvias resistant? And what are their success rates in coastal environments? I'd love to hear from anyone with insight into these issues and all plants in this episode or any ones I missed. That's all. No, wait! I must mention another group of plants not covered in this episode called temperennials. They are perennials not hardy in the Northeast, but are used as annuals with their long seasonal displays. Look into them for additional resistant plants. That is all, and really probably enough for now. Thank you for tuning in, and stay tuned for further episodes this summer. This is Michael Victor, signing off.